Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? And how is going your fasting? I think everything is going well, and you are doing great with your studies. And I hope you are not killing your time doing the unnecessary works. Well, so today we'll go through, or we'll start the last part or final part of narration. In earlier classes, we learned what is narration or speech, how many types of it, or the definitions, and some particular rules to follow. And in second class we finished how to change the assertive sentences of narration, and today we'll start from interrogative sentence, how to change interrogative sentence from direct speech to indirect speech. So rule 1 says, so we use asked, wanted to, know, inquired in the indirect speech in the place of said or said to. Means if you find said or said to, that time will take asked, wanted to, know, inquired this much. So here you see an example. My mother said to me, how are you now? So my mother asked me how I was then. So other conversation changes will happen. So for said to will take asked. So as it is interrogative question, so it is interrogative sentence. So asked has become the reporting verb. But the point is that if you find WS words, and that very time there will be as it was, but if you do not find any WS words, if an interrogative sentence comes with just an auxiliary verb rather than the interrogative pronouns, as it is adverb, we use if or whether. How it comes? My teacher said to me, are you making a noise? So here we are not finding any interrogative pronoun or relative pronoun. What you said, WS words. In this case, we should take if or whether. So rule 1 and 2 simply says, in case of interrogative sentence, we should take the reporting verb, know, inquired, asked, wanted to know this much. And if you find any interrogative pronoun, they will remain unchanged. But if you do not find an interrogative pronoun, means WS words, that very time we will take if or whether. This is very simple. So here we see an example. My teacher said to me, are you making a noise? So it's also interrogative sentence. So we can change it. My teacher asked me if I was making a noise. That's very simple. And the example, the nobleman said to the poor man, have you taken anything for lunch? So here also we don't find any interrogative pronoun, just verbs, helping verbs. So in this case we should take if or whether. So did you get it? So rule 1 and 2, to sum up, it says reporting verbs will be asked, inquired, wanted to know this much, and if you find interrogative pronoun, they will remain unchanged. And if you do not find interrogative pronoun, that very time we will take if or whether. That's it. Now rule 3. So if there is a present participle phrase with the reporting verb, it will come in front of the reporting verb in doing the indirect speech. But if it is not present participle phrase, then the position will remain unchanged. So what comes? So if you find any present participle phrase with the reporting verb, then it will come in front of the reporting verb in doing the indirect speech. But if it is not present participle phrase, then it will remain unchanged. What are the examples? Sorry, brothers, asked the mistress of the house, turning to the dervishes. So here we find a present participle phrase, so we take it at the beginning. Then others conventional changes. So turning to the dervishes, the mistress of the house asked if they were brothers. So others conventional change happened as it was. So only the present participle phrases, it takes place at the very beginning. So in case of interrogative sentence of narration, we to remember 3 things. If we to take the reporting verb as asked, inquired, wanted to know, this much. And if you do not find any interrogative pronoun there, then we to take if or whether, and if there is interrogative pronoun, it will remain unchanged. And third, it will say if you find any present participle phrase after the reporting speech, then what will happen in case of changing to interrogative speech? This present participle phrase takes place at the very beginning. So here we see the example: our brothers, asked the mistress of the house, turning to the dervishes. This is the present participle phrase, and we took it at the very beginning. Turning to the dervishes, the mistress of the house asked if they were brothers. So I think you got it. It's very simple. Just these three things to remember in case of changing interrogative sentence of narration. Let's move to imperative sentence. So what are imperative sentence? Imperative sentence are the sentence which is used to give order, command, request, this much. So we use tell, beg, implore, entreat, encourage, forbid, recommend, remind, urge, warn, ask, told in place of said or said to. So recommend, forbid, ask, told, and apart from this you can say like order, request, commanded, this much. And first and foremost rule is that we use the infinitive to plus be1. So it will not be like that like the other tenses or other sentences. So it use here infinitive. Rule 1 says you use infinitive. So the example says the teacher said to his boys, do it at once. So teacher advised or commanded, so it will take advised here. So the teacher advised his boys to do it at once. Next is Connor said to a teacher, grant me my prayer, sir. So it is request as students saying to teacher. So Connor politely requested her teacher to grant her prayer. So to grant is infinitive. So it's very simple. Whenever you find any imperative sentence, you to pick actually what type of sentence it is, whether it is making any request or giving order or advising, or if you don't find, you can tell told also, but no point to add that. So what you will do, you will add infinitive 2 plus be1. So what is it? She said you had better hurry, Bill. So she advised Bill to hurry. He said to his friends, please wait for me till I return. So at once you find the word please, so it use the reporting verb request. So he requested his friends kindly to wait for him till he returned. So in case of imperative sentence, what to remember? If we find we took categorize what type of sentence it is, then we'll take the reporting verb, and most of the reporting becomes advise, request, command, order, forbid, told, this much, and we to use infinitive and no point to place that. Rule 2, in case of imperative sentence, what does it say? If the reported speech starts with do not, never, we use not to plus verb in the indirect speech in the time of leaving out the comma quotations. So if you find do not, never, that item we take not to. So earlier one it was 2 plus be1. So as you are getting negative sentence here, do not or never, so we take not to. So see the example, then it will be clear to you. My father said to me, do not run in the sun. So what it comes? My father advised me not to run in the sun. So as we find do not, so you to take not to. That's all. And the one, my teacher said never tell a lie. So my teacher advised me not to tell a lie. This is also very simple. So rule 2 says if you find do not or never, that better you use not to plus verb, means be1. And early one it was just 2 plus be1. Well, so next rule for imperative sentence is rule 3. Here it says the modals must, would, could are not normally changed in the entire space. So you should use, also note that some sentences with would, could are interrogative in form but imperative in nature. So they do not get changed actually. He said to me, you must leave the place. She told me I must leave the place in assertive sentence. And he said to me, would you help me to do the sum? So actually it is request, but it's actually its flavor is interrogative, so you can use it as imperative also. So he requested me to help him to do the sum. So rule 4 says, calling in the name of the person, the name will be added or as object of reporting verb. He said, Ravan, don't misbehave with anyone. So what to do? As if you locate any person's name or it is calling by someone or the speaker, that time it will be mentioned. It will be added as object of reporting verb. So he advised Ravan not to misbehave with anyone. So we find do not here, don't here, so we take not to. So simply, if you find any person in the indirect speech, direct speech, and that very time whenever you change it to indirect speech, you will mention this after the reporting verb. Then rule 5 says, calling in the name of relations. The student said, sir, please forgive me. So sir here, so we know that's addressing as sir, or you can use like respectfully, but in this case you can use addressing as sir. The student requested kindly to forgive him. So 2 plus b1 again infinitive. So main point is to remember that if you find any salutation addressing as brother, sister, friends are this much, so we'll use addressing as at the very beginning, then the other conventional rules. Rule 6 says, if you find by Allah, by God, by Job, by my love, by my life this much, then it will be time swearing by Allah and swearing by God this much. By Allah, she replied, I will not forget you. So swearing by Allah, she replied that she would not forget me. So if you find this much, by God, by Allah, by my life, by my love this much, she will just use swearing by. Next it comes rule 7. Rule 7 says imperative sentence with tag question. So if you find tag question in imperative sentence, what to do? He told me, shut the door, will you? So tag question will be omitted and the rules of imperative sentence will be followed. He asked me to shut the door. So no point to add the tag question, it will be omitted and we have to follow the structure to change to imperative sentence. When let denotes a proposal, that very time it becomes, the reporting verb becomes propose or suggest, and let be replaced should. Bonnie said, let's have a walk. It's very important, you find it many times. So Bonnie proposed that we should have a walk. He said to me, let's go home. He suggested me that we should go home. But if let doesn't express any proposal, that very time you can use may, might be allowed to. So let me have a glass of milk. He wished that he might have a glass of milk. Final rule from rule 10, if you find tell there, it is often safer for the student to use tell in the English speech when there were any doubt about the proper word to introduce the reporting speech. I said to him angrily, leave me alone. So I told him angrily to leave alone. So it is like simply, if you are in confusion, that time you have to use tell only. So it's all about for imperative sentence. Let's move to operative sentence. Keep watching.